Storyteller here, and I hope you are well. Today, I've just bought these beautiful chalk pencils, all different colours, and I really enjoyed last week's video where I drew Furby from the shelf. So this week I'm going to draw Jaws, that iconic poster of the shark under the water and the swimmer above. I'm going to draw that with these chalk pencils because Jaws is actually 50 years old this year. Can you believe it? Now, everybody knows I'm kind of big on pop culture. I love anything vintage pop culture. I would say up to the 80s. And Jaws' impact on pop culture is legendary. I mean, it was the first ever summer blockbuster and put Steven Spielberg's name in lights. I love nothing better than reminiscing and talking about classic movies like Jaws. And here you can see I'm drawing the outline of the shark itself. And yeah, I love to kind of use my fingers and smudge the chalk and blend the colours, so I'll probably be using this and having a right mess at the end of it. What I'm also going to do is, instead of me just kind of talking, rambling over the video, I'm actually going to be telling you a story of Jaws. I'm going to be telling you a bedtime story all about the big fish himself. A bit of an unusual approach, but something I hope you enjoy. I just love to hear the strokes of the pencils against the paper and how something just kind of comes to life just by, making lines on the paper. I mean, I don't think I'm the greatest drawer ever, but like I said in the last video, I can draw. And I love nothing better than drawing things like this. Absolutely amazing. So like said, Jaws 50 years old this year, and it is such an iconic movie. Everybody agrees there. I think it's unanimous how important and amazing it is with its characters and its suspense and the famous kind of rubber-looking shark that is a very endearing monster movie. Lots of teeth there. Lots of teeth for that shark. So I am going to tell you the story of Jaws while I just keep scribbling away there. You can follow my progress the whole time. So snuggle up nice and warm and just let this wash over you as I am going to tell you the story of Jaws. Now I'm going to be following the movie itself. If you are familiar with the movie, then that'll be great. You'll be able to picture exactly what's happening as I talk about it. And if you haven't seen the movie, where have you been? Okay, let's make a start with the story. On a warm summer night in the quiet seaside town of Amity, a young woman named Chrissy ran towards the ocean, laughing as she dove into the waves. The water was cool, and she swam farther from shore, enjoying the gentle rhythm of the sea. But beneath the surface, something was watching. Suddenly she felt a strong tug. Panic rushed through her as she struggled, but before she could scream, she was pulled under, and the ocean became still once more. The next morning, Chief Martin Brodie, the town's new police chief, was called to the beach. Something terrible had happened. Chrissy was missing, and when they found her, it was clear that something dangerous was in the water. Brodie was a cautious man who always had feared the ocean, but he knew the beach had to be closed to protect other swimmers. But he had a problem because the town's mayor, Larry Vaughan, disagreed. "It's the 4th of July weekend, tourists are coming and I can't scare them away," he argued. "It was probably just an accident." Reluctantly, Brodie let the beaches stay open, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. A few days later, while families played in the water, a young boy named Alex Kintner paddled on his inflatable raft. The sun shone and the waves sparkled, but then the water beneath him turned dark, and without warning, jump, Alex and his raft vanished in a swirl of red. The beach erupted in screams, people ran from the water, and Brodie's worst fears had come true. There was a shark, and it was a big one. Now the town had no choice but to act, and a reward was offered to anyone who could catch the shark. And soon eager fishermen crowded the waters, hoping to claim the prize. One group managed to catch a large tiger shark, and the mayor quickly declared that the danger was over. But Brodie was not convinced. He called in a marine biologist named Matt Hooper, who examined the shark and confirmed it wasn't the one responsible. "The real shark is still out there," Hooper warned. That night, Hooper and Brodie took a boat out to investigate. They found an old fishing boat half sunken that belonged to a local fisherman named Ben Gardner. Hooper bravely dove into the water to inspect the wreck, but as he shined his torch through boat. Ben Gardner's lifeless face floated out, staring at him. Something had attacked the boat. Something big. With proof that the killer shark was still in Amity's waters, the town had no choice but to bring in an expert. A tough, seasoned shark hunter named Quint. With a weathered face and a deep growling voice, Quint had hunted many sharks before. He agreed to take Brody and Hooper with him to sea on his boat the Orca to track down the monster. As he sailed into the deep ocean, Brody nervously helped prepare the equipment. He wasn't used to boats, and the further away they went from land, the more uneasy Brody felt. Then, as Quint and Hooper worked on their fishing lines, Brody tossed some chum, which is dead fish and blood, into the water. He turned for a moment and looked back, and there it was. A massive great white shark, its head rising out of the water, its cold black eyes locked onto him. Brody stumbled back, heart pounding. "You're gonna need a bigger boat," he muttered. And the battle had begun. Quint and Hooper worked quickly, trying to harpoon the shark with barrels to tire it out. But the shark was too strong, and it pulled the barrels under with ease. It was bigger than anything they had ever seen, over 25 feet long. As night fell, the three men sat in the boat's cabin sharing stories. And Quint told them about the time his ship, the USS Indianapolis, sank. And he and his crew were stranded in the ocean, with hundreds of sharks surrounding them. Many men didn't survive. But their quiet moment didn't last long. The shark suddenly rammed the boat, nearly knocking them overboard. It wasn't done with them yet. The next morning, Quint tried to wear the shark down by pushing the boat to its limits. But the old orca was no match for the beast. The engine failed and water started flooding in. The orca was sinking. Desperate, Hooper decided to try one last trick. And he climbed into a steel shark cage and was lowered into the water, hoping to stab the shark with poison. But the shark was too powerful. It smashed through the cage, forcing Hooper to flee and hide in the reef below. Now there was just Quint and Brody. The shark lunged at the sinking boat, breaking the deck in two. Quint tried to fight it off, but the shark dragged him into the water, and he struggled, but the beast's massive jaws clamped down, pulling him under. Only Brody remained. With the boat nearly underwater, Brody climbed to the highest point. He grabbed a rifle and one of the boat's air tanks, and as the shark came for him, he threw the tank into its mouth. The shark turned, circled back for one last attack. Brody aimed the rifle. The shark charged, and Brody squeezed the trigger. Bang! The bullet struck the air tank inside the shark's mouth, and boom! The great white exploded into pieces and sunk into the sea. The ocean once again was calm. Hooper surfaced, relieved to see that Brody was alive. The two men paddled back to the shore on a piece of the wreckage. As the sun rose over the horizon, Brody smiled. "I used to hate the water." Hooper grinned. "I can't imagine why." And with that, the nightmare was over. The town of Amity would remember this summer forever. But the sea remained as it always had, wild, mysterious, and full of secrets. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed this ASMR bedtime story of Jaws. And may you have sweet dreams. See you soon.